Welcome back, everyone. You're watching MLG 2014 in Anaheim. I have El Capitan next to me. Always nice to cast with you, especially ZVZ, because, let's be honest, it's not my cup of tea.
No.
I'm a Protoss player. And yeah, I learned a lot already in this first game, which was on Habitation Station. Can you tell me a little bit about what we might see here on Overgrowth?
Overgrowth is a really good roach map, so I would be surprised to see anything else really. You can open hatch first, a little bit safer on this map.
Lots of roaches is on the menu on Overgrowth. Okay. Do you think we see RagnaroK maybe again try to get some kind of build order lead, this time perhaps by playing super greedy and hoping that Scarlett will take the safe route of going pull first then hatch? Any chance we might see that?
It's very possible, but I wouldn't be surprised either if we saw Scarlett try for the hatch first again, because on this map it would be a lot easier to defend against something like a 9 pool.
You know, I was a little bit surprised. She seemed to be reacting very, very slowly to those links coming to her main. She started losing drones that were mining gas, and surely she saw those links coming. I mean, she had overloads in position. And do you think it's even correct to be mining gas at a time like this when you're about to be rushed by Zerglings?
Absolutely not, no.
Okay.
You shouldn't be mining gas. And if she had realized the links were coming over, if she had seen them leave, I think she would have pulled off gas or not taking it at all.
Okay. It's time for the introductions again. Can you give me an accent or something, like anything, any particular way you can do the introduction?
You want more accent? I think we've got plenty of accent here, Todd, between you and I. So.
All right. Okay, I'll do this one. You can do the next one. In the bottom left-hand side of Overgrowth, we have our Korean player playing as the Blue Zerg. We have RagnaroK.
And in the top right-hand side from Canada, down 0-1. So she needs your chi. Yeah, give her your chi. It's Scarlett. Is that a thing, chi? I'm not even sure.
Okay, no pull just yet from either player. 13 supply and 14. This looks like more of a standard game here in RagnaroK. Now, not going to try again for the Zergling rush. You did mention that on this map it will be easier to defend for Scarlett. And do we ever see actually the spore thing that you do, where you try to snipe the first overload on this map, or is it only on Habitation Station?
It's funny you should ask, because you can actually do it on this map, but it's the only other map where it works in the current meta, and it would only be off of a hatch first, because the Overlord, when it sees the hatch first of your opponent, then it can go inside the main. So you would go hatch and something like a 14 pool, and then you could do the spore if you wanted to. Okay. It's not quite as effective though, because it hits a lot later. So supply blocking your opponent then is a little bit less, has a little bit less of an impact on the game.
All right, RagnaroK here opening with the pull first, then the hatchery. Scarlett went for the hatch first again, as you mentioned, it might happen. Did RagnaroK go pull first, maybe because he was scared that Scarlett might want to take her revenge with some of her own Zergling rush early on?
Playing it safe. I mean, he is a ladder player as well, so like really good at ladder. So you have to, sometimes players that are extremely good at ladder tend to play for the safer builds, the ones that won't die to just about anything, or the cheesier spectrum. So it could be for any reason. Either way, pull into hatchery. There's not a big difference in economy.
Okay, earlier gas, much earlier gas here by Scarlett. Do you? Okay, I was gonna ask. Does RagnaroK here stay without gas for some time? But he does start his own one, not too late.
Yeah.
And Scarlett has skipped Zerglings. No, she's made 2.
Yeah, she has to make 2 because RagnaroK went for the pull first. I'm actually surprised that Overlord poked in as far as it did, but I think it's going to survive. Scarlett's Overlord, that is.
Trying to get a drone here. Scarlett's going to micro that very well.
Oh, the Overlord died, actually. That's a huge deal. That's a big blunder, but at the same time, Scarlett might kill RagnaroK's.
Yeah, Scarlett with some mistakes here.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic.
We are not used of seeing this from her. Now, RagnaroK is going to pull quite far ahead on walkers because of this. You see, she was making 6 drones for Scarlett, just 3, so 25 drones right now for RagnaroK. Scarlett's trying to catch up 23, having to make that extra overload, a big deal. 35 supply to 28. I mean, in a mirror match, not particularly supposed to happen. I guess Scarlett has the quicker gas and speed going for her. What can she achieve with that?
Well, she has options, right? What that does is, the problem is, I don't know if Scarlett scouted what RagnaroK's gas is at. Apparently,
Oh,
yeah,
she did, yeah.
I think she did. So that's going to be important. That gives her the option to be aggressive. And actually, RagnaroK now dropping a spine, knowing that Scarlett's gas is far ahead, is going to be pretty good for Scarlett as well.
Baneling nest in the main for Scarlett.
Yep.
This could still be for defensive banelings, but I think if she realizes that she has much earlier speed, she could try to be aggressive. I feel like it's not too much her style, though. I feel like Scarlett, she's really, she loves to drone up.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
like a lot of Zergs.
Yeah, and she made an extra queen. Now going for a very quick lair after getting the baneling nest spotted. I like this very much.
Yeah, canceling the baneling nest here, getting an additional extractor. You think that means Mutas? She's getting double extractor.
It could mean Mutas. And she's going to scout that RagnaroK is already going for the Roaches and double Evos. So yeah, 4th gas on the way, that's definitely Mutas, one of her trademark builds. She did end up picking off an Overlord, so the early game wasn't the worst thing in the world, and she will pick off another one here. So right now she's just going for map control. She's hoping that RagnaroK made the spine that he made, and this is pretty good for Scarlett, I think.
Walker counts 44 drones, 45 for RagnaroK, no, 43 for Scarlett, who has a little bit of a later lair, but she's going to start a 3rd very quickly here, and she does have a few more links than RagnaroK with 5 against 0.
The lair timing is not going to be as relevant here because they're going for completely different techs. So, of course, if she had an earlier lair, that would be nice to get Muta, but I doubt very much that RagnaroK is going to look to hit anything before +1 range.
That Overseer is headed straight for the Spire here. RagnaroK wants to know. He hasn't had much info, to be honest, except that original link gaining into the main, seeing the baneling nest. But now he's going to be able to see, I guess, kind of early that there is a Spire. And then from there, he can start reacting with the appropriate spores. Maybe some additional queens. Do you get additional queens against Mutas?
You can, but usually when you're going Roaches, you're going to rely mostly on spores. So RagnaroK's main concern right now is securing his 3rd. If he can secure his 3rd, if he can make a ring of spores around his 3rd and have his economy as unhindered as possible, then he's going to be in a decent spot. But otherwise, if Scarlett gets any momentum going for her, it's going to be incredibly hard to take away. Once you're ahead and you're going Muta, it's pretty hard to get that lead back.
It's funny, RagnaroK didn't want to send his Overseer all the way into the base of Scarlett because then he would have lost it, so he made a Changeling, and that Changeling is next to the Spire right now. So he's able to time the Spire very, very well on when it's going to finish exactly. He knows that the Mutas could start now, and they do start now. Yeah, he's going to be able to time this very, very well for the defense. Yep. Even for some offense, as we see those Roaches to basically get across the map. I think he knows that the Mutas are just halfway through done right now.
Oh, absolutely.
He could do some damage. And even if he loses the Roaches right behind this, as long as you do damage and trade them for, say, like drones, even some Queens, some Zerglings, he's going to be worth it. He's going for the hatchery.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get much done, but he's trading these Roaches for time as well. So, like you said, anything he can pick off, and 2 Queens is actually pretty great. These Mutas are here. They're not doing damage in the main. There's time for RagnaroK to go ahead and make more drones, more spores, get his defense set up.
Those Queens were actually the Queen from the natural and 3rd base, so that's good. That means no inject for Scarlett for some time now. I mean, she has the Muta, she's going to be able to do work, and look, she goes for 4th base as a reaction here on the top left-hand side. She's going to start as soon as possible, and we have Pathogen Glance on the way here for RagnaroK, who's getting his +2 missile attacks as well. Why is Scarlett getting +1 Zerg Flyer attacks? Aren't you supposed to get like a few Mutas and not upgrade them and then transition?
It depends. Scarlett is known for doing this style once in a while, where she will hide Muta, kind of make you think that that's what you're doing, and then if your opponent moves out with less than they shoot on paper, then it's going to be, you know, just 1,000 Muta popping out of nowhere, and all you're going to have is maybe a few Hydra, a couple Infestor, and maybe a couple Queens.
Why is RagnaroK delaying the Infestors this much? He has free supply, he has a lot of gas, and the Hive is going to start for Scarlett here. What do you make of this?
It's hard to say. I mean, she could go into Ultras or Broodlords. Actually, she did this. I think she did this not too long ago. Maybe it might have been this exact tournament actually. She could go into Broodlords, and this is a good map for Broodlords actually. Yeah. It's a pretty close distance. So
I think she's counting on RagnaroK not identifying this, because if we look at the map control right now, I mean, Scarlett sees everything with her Overlords. whereas RagnaroK sees almost nothing. He has like the one overlord on the right-hand side of the map, which he's going to tell him absolutely nothing.
Yeah, 15 drones out for Scarlett just now, so that's pretty nice. She's getting an economic lead here, but she has to be incredibly careful with this Muta. If she loses this Muta, it's lights out for her. So.
Oh my god, that hive is so quick. I was kind of afraid that RagnaroK was basically planning to go for a timing with a lot of roaches and hydras, but even if he does one, is it going to be on time? Scarlett has such a quick hive. I expect Ultralisk Cavern to possibly start, or is it bad? She has to go for Blue Lords, you think, or are Ultralisks an option at all? Some of the Mutas are caught here, and she starts 7 more Mutas.
Yeah, there's not a lot of upgrades for the Ultra, so yeah, it's gonna be the Broodlords. The Greater Spire does start. She's gonna need a lot of static defense if she wants to stay alive, but the Mutas are still doing a pretty good job of keeping his opponent on his side of the map.
But don't you feel that any timing right now kills her?
No, not really. She can still counterattack. She's also like overexpanding, so she can move to whatever base is not dying. She's making spines. That's what she needs to be doing. It's a tough style to play, but also RagnaroK has been very limited on the information. So
he has absolutely no vision on the map right now. He's not even trying or attempting to send any Zerglings across the map or Overseer.
Yeah.
And you have to wonder, how is he going to be able to read into this? If Broodlords complete, I feel like RagnaroK is going to be in a lot of trouble. He does have some Queens, some Infestors, but how good or how well can they deal with some Broodlords? 4 Corruptors are on the way right now. We already have 4 for Scarlett. If she gets up to 8 Broodlords, her army is going to become so much more deadly. But those Mutas in a fight, aren't they going to be kind of useless, or are they going to suffer, I guess, from the energy of those Infestors with some Fungals, and then the Broodlords become untouched, basically?
Absolutely. The Mutas are not great units to fight with in a straight-up engagement against Zerg especially, but she can still retain them. She can still counterattack with them. And they've done their job up until now. I mean, the Muta were made for this. For
I really like the spines. The spine wall on the right-hand side, on the 3rd base as well. She's getting more on that 4th base here. And there's a Spore on each of those. She's morphing the Broodlords right above this in the safe zone. I really like the Spore as well, because if there was to be burrowed roaches trying to get in there, it wouldn't do anything.
Absolutely. And this is Scarlett saying, all right, once I'm done making this army, once I'm done with my setup, there's no way your army will ever trade cost efficiently against mine. So you have to switch into a similar army as me.
But don't you need something on the ground to help those Broodlords? Like roaches?
Not particularly. Not against this sort of army, really.
Okay.
She just needs to be careful. The spines are going to do that job. Only 6 Broodlords, though. That can be taken down, and a great fungal, but it's not going to matter too much.
Yeah. Scarlett's going to get in there. She's trying to force the Fungals on those Mutas. It's going to work, which means the Broodlords are going to be untouched from the Fungals. The Broodlings are going to get in there and start sniping all of those Hydralisks. RagnaroK still quite far ahead on supply. More Corruptors are being started by Scarlett here. Those Broodlords, they haven't been attacked a single time once just yet. She's pulling them back in an area where it's very, very hard for RagnaroK to actually attack this, but there is just so much. Those Queens have a lot of transfers for RagnaroK. He's going to go for the snipe on the hatchery. Should be able to get it easily. Scarlett behind this starts more Mutas. She makes another Broodlord, and RagnaroK might have to pull back. He's staying in there for now.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Mutas. She might be concerned with something like a Corruptor or a Nerd Switch of sorts, and that's why she wants to make the Muta that are going to pop out as quickly as possible and get to the fight. Otherwise, I'm not sure, because there's not much that they are able to do from this point on.
The Spore Queens getting chased down by the Broodlings. RagnaroK's going to try to sneak some roaches in, but nope. This should be defended quite easily. He starts his own hive. So what's his plan from there? He's getting a Spire and a hive. Does he want to get his own Broodlords?
It's the only thing that will trade cost efficiently against Broodlords in the current meta.
Is Broodlords themselves as well?
Yep.
Sounds interesting.
I mean, you can still switch it up a little bit. For example, I prefer not to get a lot of Corruptors and get Hydras instead.
You know, RagnaroK has invested a lot of gas into Infestors, so he's not going to have all that much gas to make his own Broodlords. Scarlett definitely going to have a lead in that. She has 13 Broodlords right now, 10 Mutas, 2 Corruptors, 3 Queens, which is actually kind of low to have just 3 Queens at this point in the game. I guess she doesn't have one in the main.
Yeah, however, at the same time, I mean, Scarlett also needs to start her own Infestors. These Muta are not going to be great in the fight, so she's eventually going to want to get rid of those. Much like in a Swarmhost game or any sort of split map scenario, what matters the most usually is the units lost tab. And at this point, RagnaroK has lost a little bit more. despite Scarlett sacrificing her entire Muta army, RagnaroK has lost a little bit more, and he still has to sacrifice some of this dead supply that's not going to help him at all in the fight.
What composition does Scarlett want to go for here? Does she get Ultras to support these Broodlords? What do you think?
No, absolutely not. It's got to be Broodlords against Broodlords with
just
either,
mass Broodlords?
Well, no. Infestors, Corruptors, Hydras are all options. And,
okay.
you know, you can switch your play around the units that you get. The Ultra switch is possible if she wants to go for something like a base trade, or if she thinks that the ground army is still really powerful, which is not really the case. And look at this, RagnaroK is just trying to trade. I mean, those units are useless for him.
Yeah, she needs to take down those debris here. Look at the production tab. Oh my god, Scarlett is on top of everything, getting so many upgrades at once, getting chitinous plating, some ground carapace, ground melee. She could transition into whatever she wants from there, even get a small pack of links with adrenal glands, do some counter-attack here and there. And actually both players have reinforced their fourth base quite heavily, but Scarlett, she has static defense almost everywhere. On that gold base, on the top left-hand side, it's almost impossible to attack her cost-effectively, even with upgraded units like RagnaroK's trying to do now. And he could get fungled. He's gonna get in there.
Those need to get fungled by Scarlett, but yeah. She has a better unit composition. This fight is a big one, and RagnaroK is actually somehow kind of pushing through, but this shouldn't happen.
Oh man, the
Infested
Broodlords
without upgrades are not very good.
Yeah, the Broodlords are going to have to say something about this. The Broodlings really starting to be too much. RagnaroK might have to pull back, but he's committing. No, he's hesitating maybe here a little bit. He really wants to break through. He probably thinks it's his chance now to make something happen against a Scarlett who's got so much economy. She just remaxes instantly on Corruptors. She starts 11 additional drones. She's going to replace the Spines immediately. What a nice hold here.
Yeah, it's a great hold, and really, yeah, in Wings of Liberty, you could do that sort of thing. Infested Terrans had the upgrades going for them. They would take the upgrades from your Roaches and Hydras, the standard upgrades, but now they don't. So Infested Terrans are pretty hard to use in this situation. I still think Infestors are a pretty good idea, but not so much for this kind of play. And I think RagnaroK is going to try to make something happen like this again. And it's,
you don't think Scarlett is going to be the one attacking next? Like bringing Spines with her army and moving forward that gold base?
She could, but she doesn't need to. To be quite honest, this is a pretty important match, so she will be moving out, but this is, I think, a way to potentially throw away a lead.
Okay. She's not bringing any static defense with her.
Exactly.
Which in this case is not actually static. Anyway, lots of Corruptors. She has 3-0 upgrades for air units, so I guess she's feeling very confident. You know what, RagnaroK not even going to bother with this. RagnaroK's army is like a tier 2 army in comparison. It's just like Corruptors, Roach, Hydras, and then some Infestors. So it's going to be very hard for him to deal with this army of Scarlett. He's not maxed out just yet. He tries to catch the army in the middle of the map maybe, but Scarlett's too good for that. She's going to pull back next to her static defense.
Yeah, I'm very surprised RagnaroK actually went for this, but a great fungal and a lot of Corruptors. Good spread on them as well.
The Broodlings doing a ton of damage onto those ground units, but the Corruptors of RagnaroK trading very, very well. Against all of those Broodlords, everything's clumped up for Scarlett. There is no more fungals for RagnaroK though. So both players are going to trade. The Broodlords still doing damage to the ground units. The Corruptors are fighting all the Corruptors. All the Infestors of Scarlett have either died or don't have energy anymore. She's going to try to pull back onto her static defense. There is a single Spore here to attack air units, aka those Corruptors. She brings 2 more. They're going to have to burrow or plant themselves very, very quickly. It looks like Scarlett's going to be able to hold once again.
Yeah, fantastic job by her. Now going over the static defense, she has held and established another base, which means she's 2 up on RagnaroK. Again, that was still good for RagnaroK. He closed the resources lost tab difference by a little bit, but you know, Scarlett doesn't need to fight anywhere but over her static defense.
Can we look at the upgrades? Researching. Oh, hold on, RagnaroK is gonna get in there. He does not want more Broodlords to hatch, so he's gonna try to get a snipe on those. Scarlett, is she gonna hold once again? She has to if she wants to win this game. She's gonna bring more Spine Crawlers. Zerglings on the way.
What does she have on the ground? Now there's 3 Broodlords, so that might help out a lot.
Yeah, she needs maybe quite a few Zerglings would be nice. Maybe some Ultras here and there, since RagnaroK's really committing to this Roach Hydra army with some Queens. It's funny to see Queens across the map like this. I guess those creep spread from both players really linking each other. So there is speed on those units everywhere, but too many Broodlords right now. GG is going to be called. And Scarlett After quite a few good holds in this game, he's going to win it very convincingly with some very nice Broodlord play. I had never seen this in ZVZ before. Maybe it's because I never watch ZVZ usually, or not too much.
Oh no, it's kind of a new meta since Broodlords were buffed against Swarmhost Turtle. So now it's Broodlord Turtle instead.
Is that the new trend?
It should become.
Is that what the cool kids do on the
what
ladder?
the cool kids do now.
Is that what you do?
It's what happened on Wings of Liberty. I mean, it usually doesn't happen that fast. Scarlett has started to transition into that so fast, and that gives her an edge. It's basically, if I can survive until then, you'll have to waste an army, and once you waste an army, you're never, or I'll never let you catch back up on that resources lost stat.
Don't you feel like there is a lot of timings that could take out Scarlett when she goes for this? Say, like with a lot of Roach and Hydra, she had almost nothing. She had like some Mutas, and that's it. There was a bunch of Infestors. If RagnaroK had identified what he was up against and attacked that fourth base or that third base, I feel like it would have been almost impossible for Scarlett to hold. Then again, she's had quite a few good holds in that game, but won't see other Broodlords.
It's just incredibly hard to judge that kind of thing because you don't know if she has Banelings, if she has Lings, or if she's transitioning to Roaches herself.
So he needs to scout more.
Well, that, and also you need to, before moving out against a player that's going Muta, if you don't have the scouting information, because I mean, Muta do deny the scouting information. So if you don't have that, it's hard to move out before you have a balanced composition of Infestors, Hydras, and Roaches. You know, you can't just move out. If you just move out with Hydras, then you'll die to Banelings.
Yeah.
If you just move out with Infestors, you'll die to Mutas. You have to be really careful with that, so can't really blame RagnaroK.
Interesting. It seems to me like it's kind of the equivalent of a Protoss going for Colossus, skipping Archons, and taking a quick third. I would feel very, very weak and like I would die to any kind of attack with Charge Lot, Archons, and Immortals. But in this case, I guess the Broodlord tech is stronger than just Colossus will be in taking a quick third base in PvP. So Scarlett is going to win secure herself the win here against RagnaroK, one of the very good players that came out from these open brackets. Congratulations to her for that win.
It's 1-1.
Oh yeah, what am I saying?
What are you saying?
I'm sorry. Okay, so it's 1-1, guys, sorry. And we're going to have a third map, which is going to be King Sejong Station. Tell me all about it.
It's a Muta-friendly map.
Scarlett played so well that I thought she had won the series here. I don't know why. Kind of phased out a little bit. Anyway, we're going to have a commercial break, and then we'll be right back with the last game of this series, a ZVZ between Scarlett and RagnaroK. The score is 1-1. Don't go anywhere.